Hello. Wild. Hello. Wild. Not gonna lie, I did not want to draw today. Um, I figured to go back to gesture studies. Talking to my friend to how to approach teaching this. But how can I teach something that I don't know? Like, I'm thinking I'm not a college professional or someone who has a degree in teaching this. I just like art. That's basically it. um, so you, what I am gonna do is try to organize this as a study session with other people. So I guess that's the best way to go about this. Pretend this is a study session. Less so much as I'm the teacher, just, we are studying together. I do have to zoom in though, because I think that's what everybody wants to see. Ooh. So let's zoom in though. That way people can see much clearer and see exactly what's happening. It's kind of difficult even discussing this because there needs to be a plan. Supposedly, this is what I've been seeing videos on YouTube or even Instagram or wherever you get your freaking videos from. How do you plan art? Because supposedly there's this one guy that I like. He's a really good teacher, but I forgot his name. But he's on Proco a lot. I'll showcase him real quick. As you hear the music in the background, that's anonymous. Proco artists. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's Jeff Watts. Is it Jeff Watts? It's probably Jeff Watts. So this guy? Yeah, that guy. He did a really good video where he says, I think this is the video right here. He sees a lot of amateur artists just draw without even know what they're drawing. Like, they don't plan it out. They kind of just draw for whatever they're feeling when, I guess he says a good artist will plan it out. I've never been thinking about that lately. How do you plan it out? Because right now I don't feel like drawing, but I know I should draw. Because I got work tomorrow. And this is something that I do want to, what's the word? Yeah, I don't know how I'll go about this. I do want to take seriously, but not really seriously, to the point where I feel burnt out. It's like the struggle with that. But let's just draw for the sake of drawing. So one of the things, my cousin, Oscar Orozco, I probably have to give him a shout out in the next video on his page. And as I'm doing this, I also have to make sure people don't get distracted. Oops. So let's talk about. Hold on, I have a list right here. I don't care about looking at this. I'm just gonna put this over here. The list. So, why isn't it? Oh my god, this is where it gets annoying. It should be showcasing. Why is it stuck in that screen? Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm just gonna test this out. So, according to my cousin, he's been doing this longer than I have, 30 years, and I trust that guy. Um, he knows a lot of famous artists back then that we know now that are famous, like Loish. And we're talking about like big name, even video game developers or others who've done different things. I can't really name it, but my cousin has like basically everything you need to know about art. Like that guy's a full-on genius. I love that dude. I could literally consider him like a brother. This is what he recommended me to study in this exact orders. And there's a couple of books that he recommended to me. So if you want to do figure drawing or really start drawing form, he recommended me stick figure, weight balance, and pose and gestures. And I think he's kind of right on this, honestly. And this is before even me coming to him or asking him questions, because he noticed that but he did say this. It's gonna be a lot of pain. Like it's gonna be years, just for me to get good. And even then, it's like there's not gonna be any success, and not to expect success. And he's kind of right about that. If you're in it to make money, it's going to be a struggle because it really depends on trends. And if you're really in it for money, just follow the trends. And marketing, that's all it really is. Marketing and trends. In terms of selling your art, you literally have to put time of your life outside of studying to finding an audience. It's not hard, but a lot of it's really, I speak from experience, and not as successful. Man, I wish I could draw this to explain. But I'm just gonna stick into I had to rewrite this again. Let me start this all over. It's all really about time, so really ask yourself, do I have the time? And do I have the resources to sell art? And what am I expecting? What's my plan? Like, you really need to start planning things out and start doing that. It's not hard or difficult, it's just doing it. Like, do the steps. And especially if you want to do it legally, that's when I say legally, I mean like paperwork for starting a business. And not just paperwork, it's do you have a storage or a system or space to start collecting your art? Because not all your art is going to be sold. And do you have the transportation? Now this is more traditional aspect. And if you can't do any of this, I don't recommend start doing this. This is like maybe years and planning, and you need a support system. Because if you try doing it by yourself, you will go crazy, unfortunately. But if you have a strong support system that can help you with all this, or heck, don't even do that. Find someone who already done that and pitch in. Find another artist who already has that, and maybe go talk to them and be like, hey, I want to do exactly what you're doing. Can we share space? I'm more than willing to pay for the vendor fee. Because it's not free. All those people that you see selling at the markets, farmers market, artist alley, it's not free. They're not there being free. They have to pay a fee just to have that space or lot. So yeah, nothing in life is free, especially if you want to do it the legal way. And it's also taxes. So All of this comes into selling art if you want to make business out of it. So yeah, just you gotta ask yourself: do I just want to make art, or do I want to sell art? And what type of selling art do I want to do? Follow the legal paperwork? Do I want to do the storage space? Do I like? You have to plan all this out, and it's not gonna be done overnight, by the way. And I got overwhelmed with all this, and not even that. Like we haven't even talked about shipping. We haven't talked about shipping and invoice and public domain, and I mentioned in another video about public domain. We haven't even talked about discounts or finding a client. Like, ugh, this is where I think that's why I quit, because I got stressed out, because I'm like, man, not sure this is fun for me, because honestly I just want to do art and just sell. Like, if people like my art, that's cool. I'll just sell it to you. We don't have to do all this fucking paperwork. I just want someone to just walk up and be like, hey, I like your art, I want to buy. And I just want to be like, yeah, I'm down, how much you want it for? I'll pay 60. And I'll be like, okay, that's fine with me. Or maybe another guy comes along and goes, hey, I like your art, 20. And I'll be like, I don't know. It's like, how about 25? Okay, if I can take it. Because I don't know if I'm gonna sell that art. Like, you don't know. It will just happen. But you have to put yourself out there. Like, you really do. Like, both in public or online. You're basically spam, or you're an ad, and we can talk about ads too. And you also need a support system. Have your friends network connect. You're literally a one-man team. You're basically marketing. You are an accountant. You are the ad, which falls under this. You're also your own tax person. You are also your own creator, because you do have to create art. And you're also your own worker, or your labor. You are also your own, not just creator, your own transportation system. And like all this, one person. And it can be overwhelming, once again, if you're doing this by yourself. I do not recommend it. And if you are going to do this by yourself, take your time. Really take your time. So and a lot of people, once they get into this, it takes years of hard work. It's not happen overnight. But oh man, this is what happens when you talk too much. Give me a second. But one thing I want to talk about is authority. What authority do I have when it comes to talking about art? I'm not a successful person. I have sold art. I have sold, but it's probably been once or maybe 10 times. People have come up to me and I have just given to them or sold them. Some watercolor, others t-shirts, some paintings, just basic paintings that I done that were like 8x12. Well, not 8x12. They're like those big giant ones that people buy for school. What else? What else have I sold? I did a graphic design logo. It was like for a freaking conservative guy. But hey, it was... Can't complain since it was money. He did pay me a lot. It was like $180. What else? Also stamps. So really, these two were not Fiverr, Upwork, which I hate. I do not recommend going there. The stamps and t-shirt were also Redbubble. And the watercolor was just $20 in person. It was just of cats. Just like, yeah. What else? Overall pretty cool, but it was just random by the year's income. Like, people just found out I was an artist, or I put myself out there and I reached out to people. But to be honest, oh crap. Oh, which it's a good figure, because anyways, we just went over to what I was talking about my cousin. That's ADHD in a nutshell, or I don't know what the hell this is called. Yeah, I think I make, if I have to collect all the money over the years, this is a span of from 20, when I really said fuck it, I want to do art, because that's what I always wanted to do as a kid, or fuck, even before college, going to college. I think this is 2019. I was trying to explore 2018. I know 2018 is when I graduated with a BA psychology degree. I studied the human mind, and 2019 I finally I was following the Will Ferrell method. There's one video which I show you. Our friend Will Ferrell over here. It was a really cool interview, and I decided to go down his path because it makes sense. Will Ferrell, backup plan degree. And he's like sitting with some dude. Yeah, here it is. This is with off camera with Sam Jones. I really recommend watching this video. Will Ferrell, thank God I have a college degree. He gets a anti-pep talk from his dad saying that, because Will Ferrell says, hey dad, I want to be a comedian. And he's in college at that time. And I too was also interested in comedy. I love comedy. At the time I was very happy comedy, and I wanted to do it too. I was on the same path as Will Ferrell, because everybody says that was funny. And his dad, which I'm going to draw him with a beard, says, hey, I'm a bit worried because it is kind of janky comedy. I don't quit college. Don't quit. I really want to watch the video. Finish your degree and have it as a backup. Have it as backup, just in case this fails. And that's some real truth right there. Because art is very finicky. It's not stable, or the entertainment and business. It's just not. It's like this, like when you see famous people and you see celebrities, or you see influencers, and you see all the big names, or even politicians. They all say the same damn dream, and I'm not here to shoot people down, but we gotta be realistic, okay? We gotta be real. And then there's this fantasy message. They all say that whole spiel. If you work hard enough, if you work hard at your dream, you can be successful. You can be successful like me. In psychology, I forgot what the term for it. It's been a while because I broke away from psychology for a bit, but this is kind of a false narrative. It's basically implies that, and we'll do some quick logic. Let's say we got a rich person over here. They're standing on a hill and they're flexing on you, and you got all these other people looking, and they're going, wow. And he says the same message again. If you just do X, you could get Y. In other words, if all you have to do is just input X, in other words, just do X, just grab X, screw it, grab X, you could get Y. It's very easy, right? So that means all of us here should have an X. It's not that hard, right? All you have to do is just work hard. That's it. Do exactly what they did. So, you know, and an example, Will Ferrell or any other artist. Let's get a good one. Gigs. Okay, that's one thing. You gotta do comedy gigs, you gotta do art gigs, you gotta keep building that momentum. The more you build it, the more you do it, right? All you have to do is just get gigs. That's it. That's all you have to do. For some of us, it's not simple. And it really depends on your situation and if you can, or find connection. Or not even that, resources. And this is the definition of work hard. You have to also place in movement. And then what does it really mean to be successful? So by getting X, which it says work hard, well, what does work hard mean? Does that mean getting lots of gigs? Does that mean getting lots of connections? Does that mean getting lots of movement? In other words, you're going places, you're seeing things, and you're understanding things. Lots of places. Or is it an agent? Maybe it's income. See, not that easy, right? The message, work hard. Now doing it, it's just stop complaining and just do it. Yeah, true. It really depends how much you're willing to sacrifice for your dreams. Sacrifice for your dreams. And I'll say this with a person who got his dream as a college in psych, because this is true. I think I had to sacrifice family events a lot, like a fucking lot. I had to sacrifice friends. I stopped connecting with them. What else did I have to sacrifice? Game time. Relationships. I had a lot of failed relationships. What else did I sacrifice? Physical health. I gained a lot of weight because I was just 12 hours studying. And I also sacrifice, I would say, dreams. My art dream. Because I knew that, and I'm a very pragmatic person. I knew if I follow my art dream, it was gonna be very difficult for me to support myself. Like if I don't know. Maybe I could have been wrong. Maybe if I didn't develop real life skills like blue collar work. I said I kind of made the decision where I said, I'd rather get a psych degree, something that's universal, and one dealing with people, and I could be applicable, and I could get as many jobs as I want. I know this is very finicky, art jobs, because you always have to keep pushing, and I don't come from a high rich family, and I had to sacrifice all this just to attain that. And I did. I accomplished it. And not just that, I was also able to land a high paying job. And it got to the point where I moved up in the system, and I'm working for the. Can't say too much, but I want to go back to discussing the working hard. Because of doing all that, and I sacrifice, I think the most important part, my dream or my passion. I was able to attain this. Not just that, by sacrificing that, I was able to attain lots of connections. I had a lot of odd jobs, but they were all guiding me towards psych degree. I was able to go to a lot of places, and they were all helping me to navigate movement. And I was also getting recommendations from bosses and workers, or even family. And they were all leading to high-paying jobs. And not just that, I was working hard. And I also had developing resources, but the resources came from family and friends. Like, it wasn't just me. Like, that's one thing people need to understand. All this, family, friends, or even coworkers were helping me get to psych, because that's what I was telling people. But once again, not to my art dream, not anything related to that. So once again, I did achieve my dream of getting a bachelor's degree. But I didn't specify that I wanted to be rich. But by following all that hard work, and the hard work, once again, we'll do it again, gigs, odd jobs, connections, what else I was saying, places, movement, and there was a couple which I'm not gonna remember, but basically you get the point. And this was not an overnight thing. This was a 5-year progress. And just by even saying that 5 years, to me at that time was like retrospect 5 years. But in that moment, I was just doing things in that moment. So looking back, yeah, wow, that's a lot of work. Well, I can only say that now because looking back, that's how long it took me to get my bachelor's dream and to get a high-paying job. And the high-paying job was actually not that bad. It was actually, at that time, when I got it, it was back in 2021. It was like $30. And it was actually decent pay. I think if I even, like, the hours were good too. It was like 40 hours. All I had to do was just teach, and I love teaching. I'll say it again. I was just in the wrong setting. Once again, love teaching. Just wrong setting. Like really, really wrong setting. It was not the right place for me. Put it this way, I was working in probation as a teacher or substitute teacher, but the pay was fat. If we were to convert this pay per, which I can't think, as a teacher, I can't, you know what, I should be able to do this, and then add the zeros, per week, and then per week times $4,800. And if I continue to stay at that job, I think, from my understanding, I would have got an increased pay, I think by $1 or $2, I forgot, but or I pursued my master's, it would have been up to $6,000 per month. And if we multiply that by 12, it's 72. So it would have been I think it's this what people call 7 figures. I don't know. I still don't understand capitalism. I mean, I do. Like, I can't say like I don't. But why do it's 72 7 figures? Is 7. I'm looking this up right now as I talk. Yeah, basically 7 figures. I guess a figure is 100,000. It's 1,000. No, 10,000. So one figure is 10,000. Yeah, English. It's fucking weird. One figure equals 10,000. I don't know why we call it figure. Yeah. So, and even if I was making 12,000, I would have made 4 figures. Not bad. But wrong setting. And I quit within a month because I was extremely unhappy. Extremely unhappy. Because deep down in my heart or passion or soul, I wanted to do art. I love art. It's just fun to me. It's something that I as a child, I always wanted to do. I love learning. I really do. I love psychology, but not as much as I love art. And the struggle is now is I have to put in the work. The 5 years that I put into here, and all the sacrifices and the connections and movement and all that. Now I have to restart all over again. I gotta do this, and I really had to scratch down. And I wouldn't say it's difficult, but you kind of have to test things out with art. Like, this isn't a college setting where everything, or not just that, there's a little safety net. There's not gonna lie, there's a safety net. Versus real life, your safety net is whatever's available to you or what you have, in case this fails. And once again, I did the willpower method. Okay, I got my BA. That's true. That's what I wanted to do. I neglected this. And that's my fault. Thinking that if I could just forget this that ever existed in my life, I'll be happy. And I was miserable. Not until I started doing this, I finally felt happy. So I'm kind of stuck with it. It's part of my life. It's who I am, and I have to accept it. So no more shame. More work hard again. So we now had to figure out, okay, so I'm not in a safety setting anymore. The government's not there to help me. I don't get that safety net from my teachers. I don't get that safety net from my coworkers. I don't get that safety net from my people who have the same mentality. My not students. What's the word? Oh, I'm blanking out. Not students. Your classmates in college. You don't get that connections. You don't get those clubs. College offers all that. It really does. That's why I love college. Or a library, or things are paid for, or in real life you have to work. You have to maintain the cost of living. You have to ask people to help you, and you need to seek out those. And when I say seek out those, you have to movement. There has to be movement where you have to go out and find others like you, and it's costly, by the way, because all this affects how much money you have, or how much you're willing, once again, to sacrifice. This is real life. This is not college. Once again, college was a safety setting. Everything was nearby. Everything's located in place. If you want to go to the art club, it was literally walking distance. If you want to go get food, it was walking distance. Everything is walking distance here. Real life is not. You afford what you can and do your best to reach out a walking distance. But luckily, you have the internet. It's a bit more difficult to manage, but you really have to focus on what exactly where you want to go. So let's head back to... Man, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. So let's head back to the whole studying. I feel like I just gave a lecture on buying stuff, and I feel like the old man I used to interview, but I'm just going on a tangent. So this is why I take things seriously. I think I was just trying to prove my authority on this. Like, I get it. I totally get the struggle. And I really hate this goddamn Disney pen. I'm more of a Japanese brush guy, calligraphy. I fucking love it. Let's go to my favorite brushes. There it is. Let's make it a little bit fatter. And poses. So yeah, I've been doing this for a good studying art, or fine art as you say. I don't even know what that means. Like or when I say fine art, I've also been studying art history. God, I love art history. It's amazing. Like I do this on my own, by the way. All this I do on my own. It's like there's so much information out there, and not just information on the internet, like books. Like I feel like that's something that underrated that people don't do, that people should do. Like really go to the library and find art books, even if they're not by famous people or successful. There's diamonds of information, like $1 million information from artists who spent years and times, and they're willing to write something. Once again, time and experience. That's you can't buy that. Someone sacrificed their life to attain and give said knowledge, to put it in a book to teach others, even if they're not successful. They just want to share this time and experience into a freaking goddamn small 300-page book or 200. That's gold to me. Versus, I'm famous because I got lucky in the industry. And I got picked because you got lucky. Wow, this is unreadable. I might have to switch back to the other one. Or maybe lower it. You got lucky. Lucky. Because you did the hard work. See, everybody could do the hard work, but not very few of us are going to get lucky. It's just luck. It really is being at the right place at the right time. And the sacrifices too. Just because someone's successful, what did they sacrifice? They had to sacrifice. Like, did they even have friends? Even what's his name? The anime guy. He looks kind of miserable, if you ask me. Very negative. I've even watched documentaries about that guy. Like, oh, a lot of good, beautiful movies. Ghibli, a Ghibli guy. Studio Ghibli, but it really depends what you value. If you want to go for that Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki, this guy right here. Love his movies, but if you want to be like him, ask yourself, how's his life? Like, how's his health? Like, he's successful, but what's his social network? How's his social support system? How's his family? Does he even connect to it? How's his health? Like, as an artist, you can't just draw for the rest of your life. You gotta have health. You gotta take care of your health. And a lot of people sacrifice this. And some people don't really care. They are willing to sacrifice, or even friends too, and coworkers. And when I say being success, it doesn't have to be money. It could be fame too. Fame. Or money. Whatever this means. Some people are willing to sacrifice all this just to get that. Just to get art fame. Or art money. That's cool. It's up to you. Just letting you know it's not just an easy path. Something always has to be lost in order for you to gain. Back to this, because I keep getting sidetracked. It's like I can't teach. I'm just going on a lecture. Going back to this, the stick figure weight balance and post gestures. This is what my cousins, over 30 years of learning, recommending me, and I actually believe him, because I was originally doing gestures, and I was following Alex Wu course on schoolism. I do plan on taking other courses. Just for now, I'm just reading a book, and that book is kind of helping me with gestures and weight and balance. And I'll showcase the book in a bit, but I'm just going to showcase just this little small part. I don't want to give away information that someone put it out there for to be sold. Sorry, I was drinking water. And then the stick figure. What is the stick figure? This is from a Marvel book, which let me see if I can find real quickly. I'm more than welcome to showcase my background. Give me a second. I gotta find it. PDF book. Drawing comics the Marvel way. Ooh. So this book right here, it's a good one. I think even Jeff Waltz recommends it. I thought it's pretty cool. My cousin even recommended it, so I'm learning that one. And the other one that I'm reading is Figure Drawing. I think is this the one? I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. Understanding Gravity. This is another good book. Give me a second. This is the one that's going to preview to everybody. Figure Drawing Design and Invention by Michael Hampton. Really amazing. I know it seems like a lot of you have to take notes, but I do highly recommend it if you want to take notes or really understand gesture. Like, don't just draw gesture for the sake of gesture. Like, oh, draw my C's and S. What is it that you're looking at? What are the proportions? What's the weight and balance? And what's the story? Alex Wu just barely covers weight, balance, and story, because he's a Pixar, so it's like, what is the pose telling you and how can you best capture that? So if you want to just get an understanding of story and poses, I recommend following that course from Alex Wu. The second thing that my cousin said, and I think y'all got a sneak preview as I keep getting tangent: form, construction, and shapes. This more, I haven't really dived into that. For now, I'm diving myself into here, and we'll be diving this together. So perfect place to start if you want to learn art, I guess, or fine art, or drawing. This is more of just, I don't know, just this is just drawing or sketching or painting. Heck, that could be applying to anything dealing with the hand when it comes to illustrating. And then finally, the third one that he recommended me is anatomy, form, and shading. It makes sense too, because shading is very difficult, not gonna lie. This part, I was getting a strong understanding of this, and I got bold enough to jump here. I was like, you know what? I really want to do shading. And let me tell you this, oh God. Like, lighting and shading is very mathematical. And a lot of it has to do with perspective, which itself is another lot. Like, this is very logical, by the way. This is where you enter logic. Logical. Over here is where you enter geometry. And over here is when you're entered line rules. Line rules. This is where you discover the basic rules of life, like basic rules. And this is where you start getting a little bit more complex and more logical. And then here is when you really have to find details and memory. Memory and form, which that I gotta really understand what form means, because I would say anatomy is form, but no, anatomy and form are two different things. And shading, so all this is, whew, it's heavy. So once again, like my cousin said, all pain. But it's all learning. If you could willing to learn all this, and understand that you're not going to be successful. I think anybody could become a good artist. I just said good artist. I didn't say you'll be successful artists. So anything can become a good artist. And as you're doing this, maybe showcase this to other people, like what I'm doing now. Just start posting on it. Once again, don't expect to get fame. If you're just here for this, if people are here for the sake of learning, then just focus on that. That's it. Mind your own business. Don't let other people try to convince you, hey, you should do this or do that. Maybe you should start posting this on Instagram. Like, once again, that requires a sacrifice of learning and time. Now, if you could somehow combine learning and this as posting without video editing or just doing what I'm doing right now, live learning, showcasing on YouTube, go for it. Maybe you have something to share that's different from what I teach. There's a lot of YouTubers and artists who do this, and once again, they each have their own way of learning, and I like that. There's no perfect art teacher. Maybe one could teach you something better than the other can. Maybe one could teach you philosophy that you didn't think about. And what I plan to do is, my goal for this channel is teach art. However, we're going to do a little bit of philosophy. We're going to do a little bit of geometry. We're going to do a little bit of math. We're going to do a little bit of finances. And we're going to do a little bit of anatomy, because I find that fun. And anything else that I haven't covered with art that has perspective, lighting, all that good stuff. And history. Ooh, history. I feel like it's something that we need to talk about. Oh, obviously, what I'm really good at, and I studied it for years because I'm a nerd. Psychology. All this art has a lot to do. And when I say history, just humanity, like even government or politics, it's art has to do a lot. Like, don't think the government has nothing to do with art. Oh man, wait till you find out about propaganda. Propaganda. The amount of art has power with the government. Mwah, it's the chef's kiss. Going to finances. So art's not that simple. I will argue that graphic design is propaganda, or good advertisements. But will you consider that art? Is that really an expression of the human soul, or is that expression of human capitalism, trying to convince someone that this is good so they could buy that, versus this is good because it expresses a certain type of emotion, and it's not trying to sell you something. So that's pretty much for the end of this video. I don't plan on continuing. This is just an introduction to this channel. I do apologize if I went on tangents, and I have to set up some pictures to see what gestures we can practice, and I'll just guide you guys through, or what I'm thinking when I'm drawing. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in a bit.